Welcome to Inspiring People, the show about inspiring people, those who are inspired and those who inspire others. We all know them. They're good examples, they're supportive, they embrace life, they live inspiring lives in their day-to-day actions, and in turn, inspire others to do the same. Hi, welcome to Inspiring People. My name is Mary Otto, and I'm the host of the show, and with me today is my guest, Chris Koosmann. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you can make it. So I got a phone call from someone who knows Chris very well, telling me that she would be just a wonderful person to have on this show. It's taken me a little while to be able to get her on the show, but here she is, and I think you'll find her very interesting. So what we usually do, Chris, when we first start is have you say your full name.
My full name is Christine Louise Gilbertson Koosmann.
Okay. And I share a middle name with you then, Louise. Isn't that a great one? Yeah. Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up, well, around Minnesota. I was born in Bemidji and then grew up around Bemidji and rural Bagley and in St. Paul in North Dakota until I was 9. I would say it was North Dakota. Many different places in Minnesota and North Dakota. No place for very long.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't really say a town.
And how did you end up in Detroit Lakes?
I got a job here as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just...
And one of the most fascinating aspects of Chris's life is the fact that she has been a missionary, or are you still a missionary?
No.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah,
okay.
Missionary, yeah, I'm very active in my church.
Okay.
I would say that that's my mission.
Okay.
So I know there are missions in the United States, and there's musical missions and so on. So yeah, in a way I am. I never stop witnessing.
Good.
But my parents were the missionaries.
Oh, the parents were,
yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just back up a little bit and let the viewers know a little bit about your family. And of course, I know one of your family members quite well because he was a student of mine. Liked him quite a lot.
My son.
Yes, your son Troy. But who would you like to tell us a little bit about other members of your family?
My immediate, I have one child, and that's Troy, and a lovely husband, Donald. And then my family of origin, my parents, of course, Harlan and Trudy Gilbertson, and I have one sister, Karen, from Seattle, and Bruce and Gary. They live around the Bemidji-Bagley area.
So I find it fascinating that you grew up with parents who were missionaries, and you traveled quite a bit, I'm guessing, as a result. Saw lots of different people, lots of different we're in different situations that many of the rest of us wouldn't have been in. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about the missionary work that your family has done and is doing, and then some of the experiences you had.
We were called by the American Lutheran. My dad was called by the American Lutheran Church to be an agricultural missionary in 1960, and I was 9 years old. And just a very, very quickly we packed. We were all so excited. We had no idea. You know, I was 9 and the rest were younger, and my sister was not even born yet. She was born in Ethiopia 6 months later. And so getting on the plane and going to Ethiopia was very exciting, and landing in a total cultural shock in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And my parents went to language school. We were involved in terrible revolution and coup. And a coup d'etat is a war within the country. And our house was bombed, and our sister was born. And we tried to learn the language, and yeah. That was the first few months.
Okay.
And then from then on, it just was traveling. And my parents went to their mission station very far away, and I went to boarding school with my brothers, and in the capital. Their mission was to build schools and agricultural station. And it was called Tlaklaka. It means zigzag, actually, in one of the languages of Ethiopia. And it is high in the mountains. All of Ethiopia is high in the mountains, so we got used to living on thin oxygen very quickly. Yeah.
Well, I didn't ever picture Ethiopia as having so many mountains. Was that a surprise to your family too, or were you pretty well prepared? You knew what kind of a
My family
culture?
it was all a big surprise. I think the whole of Africa, Ethiopia was a big surprise. They had no idea. Maybe they did, but I think it was a big surprise how high and how difficult it was to get around. Yeah.
Can I go back to the comments that you made about your house being bombed?
Yes.
Now, was that an intentional act, or was it something else that was...
I think we were just in the way.
Okay.
Of crossfire. Yeah.
Okay. And that was during a war? You were in a war zone?
Yes, one of the war zones, yeah. Several wars within the country and also invasions from other countries. Many people just got caught in the crossfire, and we happened to be caught in the crossfire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you there?
Well, we were in Addis Ababa, that's the capital, for a year for language school. Then my parents moved to Tigray province. This is 1,000 kilometers. And maybe 900 miles?
Okay.
But it takes 3 days because of the roads were always washed out by flash floods, and the roads are really non-existent. Try to go over mountains with no roads. You need a Land Rover or fast horses.
And how were the people? Were they genuine? Were they? I mean, this is generalization here, but how did you find the people? Were they accepting of American missionaries?
Well, you have to be careful. That's the most diplomatic way. Yeah, and after a while, some would accept us being in their area, but you had to be careful.
And how long did you say you were there? A couple of years?
We were there for 9 years.
9 years.
Almost 9
Oh, wow.
years.
Okay. So you spent a good share of your growing up time over there,
Yes,
right?
I was 9 when we got there, and I was 17 when we left.
Was your family involved in missionary work in any other countries?
Yes. After we left Ethiopia, due to war, bad political situation, they became missionaries. After traveling, trying to find a home, they became missionaries to Mexico, and then also went back to Africa and became missionaries in the Sudan. And then they tried to go back to Ethiopia for a while, but sometimes the money just wasn't there. So,
well, and I think we'll hold our viewers in suspense by saying that there's going to be a part 2 of this interview with Chris. We'll talk a little bit more about her experiences with her family and their missionary work. And we'll also get into a little bit of what sort of things Chris is doing now. So I hope you'll join us for part 2 of my interview with Chris Koosmann.